Kittens are amazing. Their energy is endless. Their zest for play boundless.
Oh, they're so cute and loving, and they're always happy to see you. I always want to love you.
At this early age, they're all fluff and frivolity, appealing to adults and youngsters alike.
Who wouldn't love a little round face like this?
These furry imps can make us laugh, are the best of friends, and no matter what our mood, they'll purr us into a better one.
They're so trusting. The more you give them, the more they give you.
Their time as a kitten is such a fleeting treasure, a unique period which lasts less than a year. Their tiny kitten brains are like a sponge, absorbing all around them.
They make lifelong friends. They're good companions. They're good playmates.
Ever since the ancient Egyptians domesticated wild kittens almost 4,000 years ago, the species have jumped ships to spread around the world, to the point that in the United States alone, 1 in 3 families now owns one.
They love life. They have no fears.
Kitty critics have described them as haughty and egotistical, smug and aloof with a calculated indifference. But kitten lovers have discovered a far more outgoing and endearing creature.
I love kittens because they're sweet and they purr and they're friendly and they make you want to wake up in the morning.
Ahead, we'll track a litter of kittens, from the miracle of birth through to their entry in a national kitten show. We'll look at the myriad of breeds, discovering a diverse collection of the cutest and cuddliest kittens conceivable. Hairy kittens, hairless kittens, careless kittens. We'll watch as kittens develop their natural survival instincts that see them self-sufficient by the time they're 4 months old. We'll follow the miraculous recovery of a kitten the vet said couldn't be saved. And we'll show kittens that are spoiled and pampered. And those who've learned to perform. Kittens so talented they swim and pose in the wettest and most delightful of surroundings. For Mother, the past 9 weeks since conception have been a dream. She's a true pedigree, a tri-coloured British short hair who goes by the name of Triple Treat. And yet at 2 years old, she's little more than a kitten herself. Her stomach now hangs heavily with kittens, and a close look at her underbelly reveals plenty of life inside. What follows are hours of restless behaviour.
Already going through that process.
Then some heavy exertion. As her litter makes a textbook entry. The world's newest kitten is not only tiny, wet and blind, it's also helpless. So much so that Triple Treat has to lick him clean, removing remnants of the embryonic sac from its nostril and mouth, and thus allowing him to take his first breaths of life. Every 5 minutes or so, there's a new arrival, until 4 kittens are scrambling blindly around Triple Treat. It's an average size litter, with some mothers delivering up to 8, others as few as 1. Sightless they may be, but that does nothing to deter them from reaching mother's teat. She's done it all by herself, this mother cat. Not a maternity ward in sight. With the newborns receiving only 1 helping hand from humans. A session on the scales, which shows they weigh less than an apple. For all 4 of our newborns, these are days of darkness. They won't open their eyes for another 7 to 10 days. 1 week on, and our foursome are spending most of their days sleeping. Up to 22 hours a day, in fact. It'll be another day or two before their eyes open. In the meantime, their sole source of comfort and sustenance remains triple treat. Such motherly nourishment is fattening the kittens up. So much so, their weight has almost doubled. Days of boisterous fun are coming fast. What a difference a few weeks make. Our foursome are now a month old, and what an ever so cute stage they've reached. Eyes open, legs coordinated, and a zest for playful pursuits. Any object not firmly fixed is fair game. Like these curtains, a great testing site for newly sharpened claws. At this age, their greatest source of entertainment is each other. Hide and seek is a favourite. Such games quickly develop into play fights, a chance for big brother to push little sister around. Curiosity may have killed the cat, but not these kittens. They're checking out everything in reach, from today's headlines to the smallest of gaps. It's an age of honing reflexes, a chance to squeeze into the most awkward of spaces. Kittens, as we're about to discover, come in all shapes and sizes, from the boisterous Siamese to the intriguing-looking Devon Rex. And fun-loving Burmese, with their striking blue eyes and wide assortment of colours. In all, there are 36 species of kittens, split between the short hairs and the long hairs. One of the most adorable long hairs is the Maine Coon, a kitten blessed with more than 9 lives. When it comes to tickling the ivories, their first steps are tentative until they find the right key. Another charming long hair is the Scottish fold, so named because of its folded ears. They're now one of America's top 10 cats, a remarkable climber undeterred by frequent tumbles. They're ever so flexible, squeezing into impossibly tight spaces. Another relatively recent crossbreed is the Bamilla, the happy result of an accidental mating between a precocious chinchilla kitten and a frisky Burmese. They're certainly more adventurous and inquisitive than the chinchilla, but equally as clumsy. And what about the Bengal? They're exotic by nature and appearance, a direct descendant of the Asian leopard cat. Such a wild background may help explain why they're so reluctant to be harnessed. It's become very fashionable in recent years to own a kitten that looks different, which is how the Munchkin came to be. A natural mutant results in the occasional kitten born with short legs, and when 2 such kittens were bred, The result was the low-slung munchkin. A variation on that designer-bred kitten is the adorable skookum. It's such a new breed that they are still relatively rare, with its low front legs and higher rear legs giving its body that upward slope appearance. And how about this rare breed, the Sphinx? Bald and bizarre, but as we're about to see, incredibly affectionate. It's just over 20 years now since the first pair of hairless cats were successfully bred. And the breed that has resulted has become a big hit. That's because people with an allergy to cat hair can handle this variety. Look carefully at these newborn Sphinx kittens and you'll see they're not absolutely bald. They're covered in a very fine soft down which feels something like velvet. As they grow, that down becomes almost imperceptible, apart from a tightly packed patch of soft hair at the tip of the ears and tail. Definitely no whiskers or eyelashes though, which means they weep and sneeze a lot. Like all kittens, they're inquisitive, great climbers and possessed with deadly claws. And come feed time, they'll eat more than a normal cat, simply because their lack of hair means they burn more fuel to keep warm. But their truly outstanding quality is their affectionate nature. They seek out one another like moths to a flame. And with humans, they're even more attracted. Watch how this Sphinx nuzzles up to his owner, pushing his body assertively. Is it deep affection? Or is it simply because their lack of hair means they're trying to get warm? The hairless Sphinx may not be to everyone's liking, but you have to admit, watching this one trying to get his body across a small gap is very entertaining. It's well known that the big cats are amazing predators, capable of stalking and snaring animals much larger than themselves. That same behaviour is also a natural instinct for the most pedigree of kittens. This Burmese youngster has had no formal training, no instruction from mother, and yet the sight of 2 farmyard chickens has him on the prowl. They've been described as the perfect killing machines, their quest for quarry beginning with this posture, the body crouching to keep his profile low. Every muscle is tensed as he inches forward, ready to pounce. Today, there's no catch, no kill. In fact, the chicken goes into combat mode. But with time, and in the wild, he'll hone these skills. The same natural instincts come into play around the fish tank. These Australian mists are riveted by the goldfish. The temptation is irresistible. They'll pour the water repeatedly until they make a catch. Of course, their biggest prey are mice. But it's not always a fatal encounter. Watch what happens when this family's pet mouse is placed on top of Sandy, their Persian cross domestic shorthair. Sandy is happy enough to let the mouse crawl all over her fur. In the wild, there's no way she wouldn't go for the kill. But even this well-bred pussy is fighting its natural instincts. That swishing tail is telling us she's getting agitated. And when she begins taking a swipe, it's time for the owner to come to the rescue. Time to move on to the family rabbit, which is given a much more loving reception. They're cunning creatures, these kittens. Take the time to watch one of their fastidious cleaning sessions and you'll observe they've developed a language all of their own. Every subtle facial expression, every body posture, every sound they utter is intended to communicate their intentions to other animals. As we're about to see, they never hide their feelings. Ears back, very angry, for instance. Their eyes too are good indicators of their mood. When their pupils are merely slits, they're relaxed. But they rapidly dilate when they're excited or angry. In this case, the eyes belong to one of the world's oldest known breeds, the highly intelligent Abyssinian. Like all kittens, they're naturally inquisitive. Give them a vase big enough and they'll scramble in it. It's a passion for exploration that's unsurpassed. This is a clear signal they're establishing their place in the cat hierarchy. And when they do go into combat with their siblings, it's usually just harmless play fights. The fur may fly, but it's all part of the process of developing skills they'll need for hunting and self-defense. Of course, when it comes to man's best friend, it's another matter. The fluffed up tail and arched back signals that the kitten is threatened and afraid. Small puppies, though, are different. Natural instincts of fear are masked as these Russian blues run amok with a litter of 8-week-old Shih Tzu puppies. Just as inquisitive are the British Shorthairs. The mere hint of food or drink has them exploring tight spaces. And when there's a game on offer, their appetite is insatiable. Their coordination too is amazing. Watch how fast their arms move. Nothing, not even their owner's lunch, is taboo. This litter makes short work of the treat. And a container of milk? That's too tempting to resist. No crying over spilt milk for these kitties. It's every kitten for himself as they lap it all up. Of all species of kittens, the most popular in most Western countries is the Persian, or longhair as they're still known in Britain. Any wonder? An adorable face, luxurious flowing coat, and a taste for adventure. Whether they're trying to balance up a backyard branch or bend it like Beckham with a ping pong ball, these Persians have been bred to perfection since they became known in Europe 4 centuries ago. Their long fur had developed because of the colder climates in Europe, although they're still very comfortable and active in warmer climates. These days, they're so sociable and agreeable that meal times have them congregating amiably, not a cat fight in sight. Over the centuries, they've been so spoiled, they've lost their ability to hunt and fend for themselves. So loved and spoiled are some Persians, their owners treat them to a daily bath. Amazingly, they're not at all scared of the soaking. In fact, the more water and lather, the better. All that hair means a very soaked kitten. And to prove how even their temperament is, this Persian is content to be wrapped up for as long as it takes to dry out. A romp on the beach is not a normal cat-like behaviour.
Come on, make a little walk on the beach.
But then their owner is no ordinary man. Jeffrey Mason is a provocative psychoanalyst who not only owns loads of cats, he studies them, then writes best-selling novels about them.
Good, Manu. Yeah. Oh, Manu, look, here come Moko. Moko.
Every day, Jeffrey's cats walk the sands in front of his New Zealand home, oblivious to the fact their owner is making some profound observations about them.
I'm completely convinced that cats have very deep emotions, often the same emotions that we have.
9 primary emotions like love and jealousy, anger and playfulness, but they're also fearlessly independent, he says. No telling them what to feel or do.
They have their own agenda all the time, which is one of the reasons I think cats are so fascinating to humans.
Kittens are equally fascinated by humans, as Jeffrey proves every day at his computer. As he writes his latest novel, his collection of kittens are drawn to him. Unlike dogs, Jeffrey believes cats choose to be with us when it's not part of their genetic heritage to do so.
I believe that cats think we're their mothers.
Many kittens, he's proved, prefer to be with humans than other kittens. Wherever he goes, his kittens follow.
What I look at is love, because I think cats are capable of love. Not only love of one another, but love for us.
And what signal do they reserve for their own mothers and humans? Purring.
They purr for the mother, and the mother purrs back for them to say, I hear you, I'm glad you're fine. And that's really a very deep form of communication, which they retain only when it comes to us.
As Jeffrey proves every day, the bond between kittens and humans is surprisingly deep. They may look like your average group of playful kittens, but as we're about to discover, one of them is not quite as healthy as the rest. Meet Froggy, an Australian mist with an unfortunate disability. You see, Froggy has been born with a condition that prevents him from using his rear legs. Several vets told his owner that he'd never be fixed and should be put down. But his owners had already succumbed to his charms and refused. Froggy quickly rewarded that gift of life by getting on with things in his own style. 2 perfectly formed front legs meant he's learned to drag himself around, often at high speed. And no matter what hurdle confronts him, Froggy will tackle it. Certainly his siblings treat him no differently. Where many owners may have left a disabled cat to fend for itself, Froggy's owner Patricia Beach has insisted on taking the road to recovery. And thus Froggy has travelled far and wide to see a myriad of specialists.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Today, Patricia is taking him to see specialist vet Craig McPherson. A detailed physical examination is followed by a series of x-rays.
Rang me yesterday.
Every part of Froggy's hindquarters is x-rayed.
But I'll let you know on Friday.
And the verdict?
These x-rays show some degree of looseness of the hips, a hip dysplasia, which is manifest as the ball of the hip joints not being in the sockets properly.
The immediate treatment is to hobble Froggy's disabled legs, then exercise them every day.
Up together like that, you probably need someone to hold us.
We'll visit Froggy later in the program to see how the therapy is working. We're popping back in to see those 4 British short-haired kittens we watched being born. And how they've grown. Our little stars are now 10 weeks old. And while they're maturing magnificently, they're every bit as cute as they were as newborns. Their days are filled with endless games. But these kittens are such superb specimens of their breed, their owner has bigger challenges in store. Later on, we'll catch up with them again. Next time as they go up against the prettiest kittens in the country in the feisty world of cat shows. What is it about kittens that makes them so endearing? Owners are so attached to their fluffy friends, they'll spare no expense in pampering them. Take the growing number of exclusive establishments all over the world that specialise in spoiling them. Check this one out. It's been built specially to house pets with their own room. What's more, they're given their very own bed. And to top it off, there's a television tuned to the top-rating kitten soapies. Several times each day, they're lavished with a powder bath and a gentle grooming. Some owners are so enamoured with their feline friends, they'll treat them to a day out on the town. This skookum loves to take a drive in the family car, uninhibited by cages or seatbelts, and taking a distinct preference to the driver's lap. Shopping centres are a special treat, a chance to go walkabout. But who's leading who here, the owner or the cat? For the rich and famous, the sky's the limit when it comes to lavishing their kittens. In Hollywood, for instance, exclusive salons have sprung up to cater for the pets of movie stars. Even movie stars in between assignments, like Tommy Davies here, find it glamorous indulging kittens for his in-work colleagues.
You got to talk to them, you got to cuddle them, you got to show them love and affection, which is very important for a future relationship to an owner or to a human being.
The kitten makeover is a thorough affair. First off, bath time with plenty of water and shampoo.
You got to give them a break sometimes, especially when it comes to washing over regarding cats with water, because they're mostly afraid of water. So when you wash them off, then give them a break. And, oh, what's up, huh? You don't like that? I know, but you gotta be clean, right? Yeah.
Next comes the blow dry. This is just like a human salon with plenty of hot air and brushing. And after all that grooming, there's ears to be cleaned and fur to be trimmed. Another specialty in pampering pussies focuses on their teeth. On the US West Coast, when you call in the tooth fairy for your kittens, chances are you'll meet sisters Kathy and Dolly Schaefer.
This is Sylvia. Sylvia needs her teeth cleaned, and we're going to clean her teeth without anesthesia. We're going to scale the tartar that's on her teeth, and as you can see, she's comfortably held in a bag.
The Schaefer sisters are as thorough as a dentist, checking every tooth for cavities or damage, and following through with a comprehensive cleaning.
It's important for cats to have their teeth cleaned because not only does the tartar building on their teeth give them a bad odor, but it also compromises their health. Tartar and the bacteria that collects under it can cause liver disease, kidney disease, heart disease, and it can shorten an animal's life.
Once the plaque is removed, the teeth are brushed, followed by a squirt of antiseptic. After all that grooming and cleaning, it's time to have real fun with Kitty. Some owners go to enormous lengths to enjoy their pets. Take the owner of a top Australian pet shop.
Our 2 cats that live in the shop have lived here for 5 years. They're getting married.
Did we hear that correctly? A cat wedding?
I don't have any children, and I've always wanted to be the mother of a bride.
So a wedding ceremony is to be held, with Mildred, the bride here, outfitted in the finest lace. And this is George, the groom. Then there's the bridal party, to be decked out in the appropriate finery.
The bride dress.
A wedding car has been hired, with the bride and groomsmen ushered on board. They're going through the whole ritual, driving through the streets of inner Sydney for a ceremony that's meant to be tongue-in-cheek.
This is just a bit of fun, something for the people that really care about their animals and want to see them do something special.
Human guests have been invited, but they have to bring their pets. There's a cake and a legally qualified celebrant.
George Randall Vincent and Mildred Jennifer May wish to welcome you all.
George and Mildred watch on with bewilderment. What's going on here? An entire wedding speech is delivered.
I now pronounce you Tom and Queen.
All that remains is to sign the wedding papers. Cut the cake and let the champagne flow. Cats they may be, but it's still only right for the bride to kiss her groom. What does it take to get a cat to jump through a hoop? It's certainly not a natural thing to do, and yet Tundra here actually relishes the task.
You can do it. Good.
You're watching a training exercise at the legendary SeaWorld Adventure Park in Orlando, Florida. This is a place famous for getting far larger creatures to jump high, like this 2-ton orca known as Shamu. But other trainers here have focused on getting domestic pets to perform. Can you imagine the time and patience needed to choreograph this scene? Dozens of cats and dogs, pigs and geese all performing on cue? It takes a special skill to achieve, with Martha Cruz, one of the trainers, allocated the task.
There you go, all right, buddy. That's a good one. This is Tundra. She's one of the stars here at the Pets Ahoy show at SeaWorld. She was adopted from a humane society. She was an unwanted pet, so we brought her here and made her into a star.
It took several months to perfect this manoeuvre. So what's the trick, Martha?
Good. One more time. Good. What we do with the hoop cat is we start with the hoop very close to the ground, almost touching the ground. You have the cat, just walk over. So right now we're gonna put it on the ground. We're just gonna lead him across. Good job. Like I said, give him verbal praise, tactile reinforcement. You can give him some treats. Come here, Tundra. Next thing you know, you're gonna move it up a little bit. Come here, sweetheart. Can you come over? Up. Good, that's very good. Good job. And each day you move it up a little bit more until he's going a little bit higher. Come on, buddy. There you go. Very good, Tundra. Great. And that's how you train a hoop cat.
Having mastered that act, Tundra is unleashed on the public. In all, there are 10 separate segments of the show where cats are used. Every single performance having been achieved through the reward method. One act that always causes a big laugh is a chase scene where a cat pursues a rat all over the stage.
We'll train the cat actually right at his end position, where he just has to take a few steps into the back behind the set where he gets his reinforcements or his reward, and then we back him up a little bit each day until he's becoming from the beginning. And then we slowly add him in with the rat.
Then there are the more ambitious acts, like this one.
When we look for a cat that does the upside down rope, we want to look for a cat that uses all 4 of his paws to climb on the rope. A lot of times you'll put a cat up to do the upside down rope. They just want to climb with their front paws. Scratch is one of the best ones, and he uses all 4 paws, and that's the main thing you want to look for when you're training that.
The Orlando performance climaxes high above the audience, with 2 cute moggies known as Shamrock and Dennis leaping across a series of posts.
Again, started from the end. We looked into their ability. Those also 2 are some great agility cats. They've got a lot of physical attributes that allow them to be able to do that behavior. And we just started from the end, had them jump 1 post one day. The next day we had them jump 2, the next day 3, until they were coming from the stage.
But the real crowd thriller is this. Clarence the cat showing all the agile qualities that his species is so famous for.
If you watch Clarence in his everyday life, he's up high on everything. In his house, he's up the highest shelf you can find. So again, you want to gear behaviors around the natural behaviors of the cat. Clarence loves heights, so we decided to try him on the high wire, started at the end, backed up until he was from the beginning.
For Martha and the cats of SeaWorld, it's a performance that demonstrates how amenable these everyday felines are to learning a trick or 2. You'll recall our disabled kitten Froggy and attempts to fix his paralysed rear legs. Despite advice from some vets to have him put down, his owners refused. And Froggy has been rewarding that decision with a display of sheer determination. For instance, where his siblings sit back, Froggy is first to chase a moving toy, even pulling himself feet first up a curtain. Every day he's endured endless bouts of physio, all aimed at strengthening the muscles in his hind legs. The exercises carry over to the bathroom, where a slightly reluctant Froggy goes through more muscle-building exercises. It's a daily ritual, with Froggy dragging himself around and around the warm water. Again, the dysfunctional legs are manipulated. For 6 weeks, Froggy undergoes this routine. Until the day of reckoning. The moment he's able to stand upright and walk. They're tentative steps at first, but with every step, Froggy gains strength and confidence. Understandably, his owners are overjoyed, very pleased they listened to their heart and ignored the vets. They're endearing, captivating images that are featured around the world. Chances are you've seen them beaming out at you from a postcard or calendar. The stars, of course, are the cutest of kittens. But, as we're about to discover in a glimpse behind the cameras, this indeed is a team effort. It begins with this man, animal behaviourist Mark Vetty. To create scenes for a movie or photo, Mark is an expert at getting his animals to behave as the script requires. In this case, what's needed is a vicious dog attack. But it could be a cute capuchin monkey that's needed. Or a charge by a group of rampaging piglets. Mark's latest assignments involve cats.
Elvis, Elvis, good boy. Oh, yeah, that's my boy. Hey, this is Elvis, and Elvis is our hero cat that we used on Last Samurai over the last 4 months with Tom Cruise. So the first thing with cats is you've got to identify that they can move territories. Elvis's main feature is that he doesn't mind going anywhere. So that's the first step. Then we normally teach them a sit and a stay, a come on the button and the buzzer, this one here. And that encourages them to come. They work really for food, but once you build a relationship with them, they do start to work for you as well.
Mark's newest star cat is Vindy, and it's he and his identical look-alike buddy Cougar that will feature in the photo shoot we're following.
The good thing about him really is he can go anywhere as well, he can work anywhere, and he'll work all day. He's a cat that'll work all day, there's not many like that.
The highly energetic Vindy will be used for all the action sequences, while his more sedate body double Cougar will be shown in the static scenes. The coming photo shoot requires both cats to get wet, with Vindy first to get soaked.
He hasn't done as much swimming work as Cougar, but we're going to rehearse him in the pool today and see if we can get him swimming across the pool for our next TVC.
We all know that cats are supposed to hate water, but Vindy is such a great performer, he takes to the pool with a passion, obeying the call to swim to the other side. It's an exercise that is repeated over and over to build Vindy's confidence. Then it's Cougar's turn. The photo shoot calls for him to wear a raincoat and hat in a shower.
He's the more passive, the more intellectual of the two cats, and he's excellent to work when we're doing more intensive stuff and we're needing him to sit still and do behaviours where he's wearing clothes. And of course, most importantly, he's our water cat, and he loves water, and you're going to see him today under showers and baths, and he's one of very few cats who will do that.
Cougar was picked for this wet role when trainers noticed that he loved to play with water from a hose. Today, just as he has for the past few weeks, Cougar is dressed up in a test rain jacket to get him used to wearing it. Then comes the process of having him learn to accept water falling on his head.
When we're training for this type of exercise, we desensitise, we establish the stimulus that would be normally fearful, namely the water.
The other photo that Cougar is being prepared for is a bath. This time, a small tub is filled with water. And a very obliging Cougar leaps into it. His talent is his tolerance, his ability to sit still for long periods in a watery environment that would have lesser cats scurrying for a dry haven.
Hey. Okay.
Training completed, it's time for the photographer. In this case, the world-acclaimed Rachel Hale.
I love cats, and the bigger the challenge, the better. Yeah, no, it's great. They're heaps of fun, got great personalities.
Rachel goes to an enormous effort to capture just one image, erecting sets and putting up reflective umbrellas before installing her large format camera.
Today I'm going to capture these gorgeous kittens and hanging in socks here. The main aim is really to capture the character of them. I'm wanting people to relate to the cats. It's as well as creating a beautiful image.
The stars today are grey Tiffany's, Sebastian and Azuro.
See this? That is what you have to go in. Can you see? You have to hang in there, next to your buddy. Just like that, but in the sock. You think you can do it? Sure, he says. No worries. Piece of cake.
The first challenge is keeping the kittens in the socks. They're constantly crawling out. Once they're settled, there's an intensive few minutes keeping the kittens focused on the camera. After hours of preparation, the actual photographs are captured in just a few minutes.
Yay! What, good catch. Just keep those attentions to camera, right, if you can. The film's reasonably expensive, but I actually don't have to take that many shots, purely because you've got to capture the images pretty quickly, because the cats, if you've got to get their attention firsthand, otherwise they're not going to last. You've got to make sure that they're very fresh. Watching. Really pleased with the way Polaroid is looking. I think I might just have to bring him out. But doesn't he look gorgeous?
Another day, another shoot. Introducing a gorgeous Persian known as iced chocolate. Today, Rachel wants to capture the mischievous nature of this species.
The idea is just to get a really cute shot amongst the cream bottles, and maybe one tipped over in the end with a little bit of cream on his face.
The concept is simple enough, but kittens can be quite contrary. Iced chocolate just won't sit still.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
Rachel's camera has a very precise focal length, and any movement can ruin a great shot.
Perfect. Okay,
there's plenty of coaxing before the right images are recorded.
cute. Good boy. What a clever little kitten. I think we've had great success with this shoot. It was a challenge and we had a bit of cream spilt here, there and everywhere, but no, I'm pretty sure we've got a great commercial shot.
Another of Rachel's brainwaves today is to place a kitten inside a vase. But Ice Chocolate's brother Mocha creates still greater challenges.
Trouble is he's in play mode and he's also it's very slippery in the vase, so he's moving an awful lot. So the focus is really difficult. And good boy! He managed to bring his little face out, and what a cute little face that is too.
All that work, and there's still those pictures of our water-loving cougar to take. First in this series will be a photograph of Cougar wearing a set of goggles and a snorkel in a bath.
This is a very ambitious shot. I've made this really cute little snorkel and mask for Cougar to wear as if he's swimming.
After months of getting Cougar used to the water and goggles, the moment of truth finds him nonplussed by the whole affair.
Cougar's an amazing cat. He's heaps of fun to work with and he loves water, which is very unusual for cats. You don't normally get them where they're so happy to stand in water and be made wet and things. So I really wanted to work on that aspect with Cougar and he's been a lot of fun to work with. Great
Next,
bubbles,
it's the bubble bath. And again, Cougar the water cat takes it all in his stride.
You have to have a lot of patience. I'm a very patient person. You never know whether a shoot is going to take an hour or whether it's going to take 7 hours.
Bubbles, bubbles and more bubbles.
Well done.
Cougar handles it like a real pro.
Bang on his forehead.
And finally, the raincoat scene. Rachel has a special surprise.
I've designed these gorgeous little raincoat and hat for our star Cougar here. You ready for your star moment, mate? Hey, Coug. Feet in, darling. Good boy. We've designed. The theory is that he's going to wear this adorable little outfit and sit under the rain, and I'm going to create a wonderful shot of him with rain falling, just to have a little bit of animation to make, and the yellow colour is to make it all cheery for all those people who need cheering up on a rainy day. Boy, where's that ear?
Once dressed up, Cougar is placed on the set, where the shower is very slowly turned on.
Perfect. And just eyes to camera if you can, I'll get the focus. Yay, Cougar!
The effect is magnificent.
No, stay.
Oh, Cougs. Are you getting sick of the water? We're nearly done. One more shot, darling. One more shot. Good boy. And he seems really happy. He's enjoyed it. We've all enjoyed it. It's been a different shoot, working animals in water, but no, as you can see, this is going to win me awards.
Back now to our star foursome. That litter of British short-hair kittens deemed so gorgeous by their owner that they're about to be shown to the rest of the kitten community. Today they're being spruced up, treated and spoiled in a manner befitting a precious purebred. Nails clipped, hair brushed, a dash of talc, such decadence. Ahead of them, a grand adventure, a journey that will take them from their country retreat down to the big smoke. All those weeks of idle mischief are behind them this day, as they're whisked away to face the judges at a very stylish kitten show. Into the judging hall they're carried to face competitors from all over the state. A team of vets is on hand to make sure every entrant is healthy.
Right, little one, check your eyes. Conjunctivitis, your nose, there's no discharge. Mouth, no ulcers.
And then it's on to the kitten section, with a final hug and kiss before the judges take over. The other entrants are lively enough. Kittens of all breeds, alert and awake. But not so for our quads.
Hey guys.
They're so relaxed by it all, they've dozed off. Elsewhere, the judges are at work, looking at every aspect of the kittens to select a winner. And then, the moment of reckoning.
Bring them over, put them on the table. We got a litter of British kittens here. The kittens are very even. That's what we need for a litter. They have to be even in size, even in type, which they are.
One by one, our 4 stars are scrutinised.
And this one is a perfect white distribution. Very, very nice again, very thick coat, plush coat, good tail, superb ear placement, eye colour, nice short nose, straight nose.
Finally, that moment of nerves that every beauty pageant winner would have experienced. That moment when the entrants are lined up one last time to await the judge's verdict.
We have 4 litters here with 4 different breeds. They're our 4 best litters in show. And today, our very best litter is the British litter.
Champions officially.
Congratulations, you have very well done. You have bred a beautiful babies, beautiful litter.
Our litter of 4 are rewarded with a blue ribbon and a photo to capture the day they took off the big prize.